You see Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze is a serious ethnic bigot. Every time, Daddy Freeze will look for something that will make people be trend negatively, despite the fact that he's married to an Igbo woman. Forget about hiding under intellectualism or being a journalist or being an Igbo in-law. Daddy Freeze is intrinsically a serious ethnic bigot. I don't know what crime Peter Obi committed, if not that he is an Igbo man. So last weekend, former governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Rashidi Ladoja, was coronated as the Olubado of Ibadan. Surprisingly, among the former presidential candidates, Governor Peter Obi was the first person to congratulate former Governor Rashidi Ladoja on his coronation as Olubado of Ibadan. Just because Governor Peter Obi used the line, "my brother," Daddy Freeze raised it on Facebook, saying, is it fair that Peter Obi addressed former Governor Rashidi Ladoja as my brother? Unfortunately for him, few hours later, President Tinubu sent his felicitations to former Governor Rashidi Ladoja. And guess what? President Tinubu used the language, "my brother." Few hours later, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar felicitated with Governor Rashidi Ladoja. And guess what? He used the same lines, "my brother." So you can see how bigotry runs in the blood of the people. What crime did His Excellency Peter Obi commit? Just that he won Tinubu in Lagos State during the 2023 presidential election. What is the crime that Peter Obi won Lagos State? Did Peter Obi use money to induce the voters of Lagos State? Did Peter Obi use banditry or thuggery to win the vote of the people of Lagos State? Peter Obi did not even share money. He didn't move any bullion van to buy votes in Lagos State. Since then, these people have been profiling Peter Obi, but one consistent person who have noticed his pattern is Daddy Freeze. Remember, immediately he was made part of the Honest Bunch podcast. The first thing he did was to bring Reno Omokri. And immediately he brought Reno Omokri. I know a lot of you will say, what did he say? The way podcast works, podcast is used to generate controversy, to generate serious buzz, so that the topics will trend. So before you come to a podcast, they will discuss the brief with you. They will discuss the topics that you are very comfortable with, that will also generate massive reaction. So they will look for a topic that will create serious buzz in the social media network. Nobody comes to the podcast and questions will be asked at random. It must have been prepared. So when Reno Omokri came to the podcast, Daddy Freeze was interested about Peter Obi, as if Peter Obi is the president of Nigeria. Of all the problems bedeviling Nigeria, it was Peter Obi that Daddy Freeze and his fellow anchors and Reno Omokri decided to discuss. From start to the end, it was Peter Obi this, Peter Obi that, Peter Obi this, Peter Obi that. Daddy Freeze did not raise any difficult question about President Tinubu. When Randy Peters now came to now clear the air and strengthen some issues they raised, that was when Daddy Freeze now raised the issue that his anger is that Peter Obi worked with Abacha and that Peter Obi was a former MD of Nigerian Ports Authority. For those of you who have not seen the video, see the video.
My greatest criticism of Obi, I love him as a person. I think he's brilliant and all, but I can't divorce him from the fact that he worked hand in hand with Abacha. He was the MD of the National Ports Authority under a regime like General Sani Abacha's regime. We know that in this world, the corruption of a country starts at its ports. How can we have this great, fantastic political leader who is a saint today but worked with General Abacha?
Now, after that video, I want to show you another video so that you will see that Daddy Freeze is a tribal bigot. Of all the problem in Nigeria, Nigeria has a president who should be called out, who should be responsible for anything happening in Nigeria. But see who was being tabled when he called Shehu Kuti to the same podcast. Now watch Daddy Freeze and Shehu Kuti.
If you say Peter Obi, he has been part of this. It's not that he has been. He's an entrenched There was no time he even said he was saying I was the biggest importer. And if you say Peter Obi, he has been part of this. It's not that he has been. He's an entrenched. There was no time he even said he was saying I was the biggest importer.
What's the problem with that?
There's nobody that wants to develop Nigeria that can brag about that. I'm sorry to say. He will be, in fact, he will be hiding it. One of the things he doesn't want people to know about him.
But he's somebody who advocates for going from consumption to production.
Like even this Nepal shit. Watching this, you want to, the way these people behave, you want to bond them, you want to break everything down. It feels good to think that that's the way. But if you think about it in retrospect and you really analyze the situation, you find that is just emotional. The real solution is in the political balance.
Yeah.
And people are not ready for that. Military don't come back.
Let's talk about solutions now. Then after we'll talk about the projects. And
so every time it is P2B this, P2B that, P2B this, P2B that. As if the problem of the country was caused by P2B. What did P2B do? Just because P2B won Tinubu in Lagos, that's all. Is P2B the only presidential candidate for the 2023 election? Why will Daddy Freeze and Shehu Kuti not allow P2B to rest? The only presidential candidate in that last election they will talk about every time is P2B, P2B, P2B. Just because P2B won their Messiah in Lagos, that's all. And when you talk, they will hide under intellectualism and say they are supporting Showore. Forget it. All of them are Baptists. They are just hiding. They don't want to come out openly. All of them are Abadorians and Baptists. They just don't want to come out openly. Daddy Freeze is one of those who have been paid to be trending P2B negatively. So if you notice the trend, you will notice that Daddy Freeze is underpaid, just like Reno Omokre, Buala, and others, to trend P2B negatively. Forget that he will be hiding his own and be masquerading as if he's a neutral. Forget it. He is an Abadorist. He's a Baptist. Just that he doesn't want to come out openly and own it up.